Hello, welcome to another Think, Talk, Walk. In your youth, what was your biggest dream? And how did that work out? And is it still tangible today? For me, it was very, very simple and straightforward. My dream was becoming a professional football player. Give me a minute to explain. In 1971, in the early spring, my dad took me for the first time in my life, and I was not even 13 years old. He took me for the first time to a live football game in my hometown, Bruges, Brugge, and there played the team Cercle Brugge. They won that day. Afterwards, the crowd were cheering and celebrating the players as heroes. That was incredible for me, to be a 13-year-old kid on the stands or in the stands and seeing all those people go crazy. That was wonderful. Yeah, a tremendous experience. It inspired me quite a bit. The same year, but in June, for the very first time in my life, I saw Europa Cup final football live on TV in the evening, on black and white TV. And it was a game, Ajax Amsterdam of Holland playing Panathinaikos of Greece. Ajax won, so they became the Europa champions. And afterwards, the crowd of over 100,000 were celebrating their heroes. It was unbelievable. It inspired me once again, and even more so. I wanted to be one of those guys. I wanted to be celebrated as a hero and inspire other people to believe in themselves and go after goals. I don't think it's a surprise that in the summer of 1972, I signed in Cercle Brugge in the youth. It was obvious for me what I wanted to do. My dream was becoming a professional soccer player, a professional football player. And there, they asked me after a few weeks and after a few trainings, what was my goal, where did I want to go? Because you need to understand that in Belgium, for example, normally you start at 10. I only started when I was 14. So I had a huge disadvantage. On top of that, my skills were nowhere near to what was required in a way. But anyways, that's what I wanted to do. So my coaches came and asked me, like, what's the goal? And soon they told me, well, Bernard, you better do your best in school because football is not going to go anywhere. I did not even want to listen to those people because I was going to prove, not that they were wrong, but that I was right. I would become the hero of my game and I would become a professional football player. In that same summer of 1972, Cercle Brugge got a new head coach, Jan Grijzenhout, from Holland, from Ajax Amsterdam, because that year their famous football star Johan Cruyff, the infamous number 14, and the success coach Rinus Michels both went from Ajax to Barcelona, and the assistant coach who was recruiting the talent, Jan Grijzenhout, made the step to first coach in Cercle Brugge. But he had some ideas about how to bring talent together in his experience with young Ajax, and he wanted to build a young Cercle and gather the talent over here. I mean, in Cercle Brugge. So he started coming to all the age groups, and he also came to our group. And then he tells the youth coaches, I want that big boy. The coaches are like, the big boy? You mean Moerman? Yeah. And they're like, well, he's worth shit. This guy is not going to go anywhere. Plus, he started way too late. You know, he's 50 years old, 14, 15 years old now. He's not going to go anywhere. He needs to learn everything. Reisnout said, well, that's exactly right. What he cannot do today, we can still teach him. But I see him doing things we cannot teach him. He has a determination and a resilience that is kind of a one of a kind. So, youth coaches did not understand it, but from, let's say, 1974 on, I was in youngster, meaning I was in the talent pool. And there, my learning curve went berserk. It skyrocketed. Unbelievable. Because, you know, things like I started to train with the real pros. For example, with my idol, Danish record international, Morten Olsen. The guy was tremendous and was my idol. I was just dreaming about coming close to what he could do. And then also I started playing international tournaments in Amsterdam, Blauwet Amsterdam, where I played players that would become world stars like Tjöla Ling, Søren Lerby, Gary Lineker. So that learning curve was unbelievable. My very first game in the Belgian Premier League was somewhere in November 1977. Yes, 5 years after I entered the Cercle Stadium for the very first time. 4 years after Reisnout taking me away to come to Young Cercle, where all the other youth coaches said I was worthless. I played my first game in Beveren, and it was an away game. And Beveren was the team of the world famous international goalkeeper Jean-Marie Pfaff. That very day, he could break the world record, minutes without goal against. He did not break that record. So another experience for me, the very first time I saw live a real hero cry. March 2023, so just a little while ago and many years in between, we had a reunion with all the players that played for the first team of Cercle Brugge in the 70s. I gotta say, it was tremendous. Also for me, getting reconnected with the idol I had then, Morten Olsen. That brought up so many memories. But it also, looking back at it, taught me quite some lessons. I want to share those lessons with you. To make your dreams come true, start with believing in those dreams. Having dreams is important, but remember that dreams without actions are just wishes. To start, you don't need to be great, but you need to start to become great. Because it's not how good you are, it's about how good you want to become. And the actions need to be made by you. Because if it is to be, it is up to me. So my question I have now for you is, what were your youth dreams? What did you do about it? And what is still tangible today? If you like this vlog, please give me a thumbs up, share it with others. If you have some questions, Don't be afraid to ask me. And otherwise, I'll see you in another Think, Talk, Walk. And keep dreaming, even when you have an age like mine. Cheers.